Grace and blessings, family sister Ajali. I've been writing furiously and I don't need to do any more right now. So I just have a moment to go over this article that I found. But first, I want to thank you, dear sister Deb, for your recent soap purchase. That's just wonderful things. Please go on over to 25,000yearcycle.org and assist us in just being there for you, providing an alternative to the BS that these people constantly try to shove down our throats, to the point where the medical industry took over our very freedoms to go outside our house, and these super woke corporations that are on board for the tyranny restricted our ability to shop in a healthy manner, because now it's okay to let you know, yeah, them face diapers were restricting your oxygen. It was duplicating the same limit of your airflow as having emphysema, okay? So yeah, go to the people who just through our deeds, Dr. She and I, you know that we're here for you, all right? 25,000yearcycle.org. All our products are fortified to just make you so healthily astounded, all right? All right. So this dude, let me go on over here to Daily Mail. I haven't read this article, but just the headline and seeing the photo of the young man, it's the passport bros who, like Tariq Nasheed, I don't know what his doctrine is now. Unless he's talking about Fukushima, then I don't pay any of these dudes who are like popular because they're allowed to be popular. I don't pay them a wit's bit of attention. And so I know that he was peddling the idea of, getting yourself a better black woman by getting yourself a non-black woman, essentially, or, a brownish type of woman in other places like Brazil. And the problem with that is this, you got this myth in your head of you're getting out of Blackistan, but you are Blackistan every single where you go. And if you are ludicrous enough to think that it's an accessory, that, just by having correct diction or knowing which is your salad fork and your dinner fork, different little hurdles, you're going to run into the fact that folks out there just world over, they don't like us. And I'm like, if you like yourself, you don't give a damn. Now, I'm not saying don't travel. Definitely not. There's some beautiful places out there to see. But when it comes to being us, we must look realistically at what we're facing so that you don't go solo someplace. Like, I remember there's this black woman, I think her name is Mary. I don't watch these people, but she was traveling solo through Asia. And I was like, she's a lunatic. Because they have absolutely no problem accosting their own women. And then you're a black woman showing up? I got the impression that she went ghost for a little while, real silent, and she moved real quickly out of China without saying what the cause was. But at the same time, I'm thinking, it's a reasonable cause. I gotta add this. Two quick things and one other thing I wanted to say, which is number one, I did this when the light was streaming through the window, so it was glaring on my chin and it was all over the place. But anyway, the second thing is I love your comments. I love when you subscribe. I can't help it. I love it even more when you go to the website, 25,000yearcycle.org, and support us in our battle on our melanated behalf. And then the third thing is talking about Mary made me remember Crystal Carrison had recommended to black women. There's like, oh, there's a, I don't know, it is like a millions of single Chinese men out there just dying to be with black women. Nothing could be so far more complicated than what's going on in China in the dynamic between the men and women. Even if the balance was like there were no Chinese women, you don't want to go to a country where physical abuse is simply the culture. Is every Chinese man out there beating his wife? I don't know. I don't live in China. I have no intention of moving to any nation except for ours, okay? But I am saying that when Chinese people visit New York, the Chinese embassy over here told them, stop beating your wives in public, because they were getting so many complaints about this taking place. But when you go over to China, that's Chinese. I've heard from American tourists who've had neighbors who said, if you hear a woman screaming through the walls of your apartment complex, mind your own damn business. I'm just saying, there's a lot. There's so much more that I could go into. But suffice to say, Crystal and Carrison got up here and just acted like, oh, this is great. This is what you do. No further research whatsoever. And that will get you killed. So the title here, Family of Brit Tourist 18, says he is stuck in a nightmare and his mental health is declining. I feel for this young man, only 18, and many of us are growing up in families that are thoroughly Negro-peonized. So we don't know, we don't want to learn about other cultures so we can protect ourselves. You can never go any place without studying the politics thereof. And as he faces 20 years in Dubai prison over fling with 17-year-old UK girl. Wow. Brother Mad Black TV just did a share about a young black man and boy, high school student, who protected his Arab girlfriend. I don't know which country her family hailed from specifically, and that was wonderful of him to do that. But at the same time, it's a complicated matter. It's a disastrously complicated matter. And he's one of those, I don't want to, because he's young, but you know, the young right now, they grow up way too fast. So I don't want to call him a bedbug. Maybe he could snap out of it, but I highly doubt it, because he's going to get that compliment of having rescued the not your damsel, who was still a damsel in distress. I'm glad he did what he did, because I don't wish harm for anybody. I support real diversity that keeps nations separate and sovereign over their own future, as long as it's not harming other nations in proximity or anywhere on the globe. And so I'm glad that he saved her life. However, it reminds me of this situation because you just have, as a Negro-peon, this idea that, oh, wherever you go, it's supposed to be about, you know, freedom and liberation, and people are learning that racism is bad. You're in a heap of trouble because you're not understanding the origin of these concepts that are called racist, and when they work in systems that keep us in a constant state of oppression, they are racism. Excuse me, this one fly is driving me crazy. But at the same time, their origin is that every unique group of people have a right, any unique group of any species has a right to defend itself, so that it will protect its ability to perpetuate its uniqueness generation after generation after generation. All of this, like, we're all going to mix together, is going to wind up with what the elites, the satanic elites, hope and pray the world will fall for, which is one just dull, no nation brownness, where there's nothing like individualized about each group, each tribe of people anymore. That's what they've accomplished in Brazil. That's why the Nazis love it over there. I'm just saying. They're over there because they're still in charge. When you look at all the heads of Brazil, they're white. They're not all the brown people. And kudos, salute to the black Brazilians who are falling in love with their blackness. That's wonderful to see. Right? But that's what winds up happening when you just have that, from many, there'll just be one, is that makes no logical sense. So when you go over there with this mindset, you're actually taking on the colonizer's mind, where he's destroyed our confidence in ourselves so that we don't give a damn what anybody's got to say about us. But we also know when we go to their country, you best know what's up. All right? And so you wind up going on over to these places with the colonizer's mindset, believing that they're in the wrong for not accepting you. So you'll meet one who is someone who is a failure in their own society. We have no right to tell those societies, no, you should do things like this. Like, I'll see stuff from black people who are in Japan, and they're like, oh no, they should do this, and the Japanese are not very open to change or anything. That's their own damn business. Don't be a colonizer. When you go there, you have to be aware of the differences. And so that if and when you travel, you do so safely. So this young man, I don't know what happened with this 17-year-old UK girl, but he was a British tourist himself, and his whole life might be wiped away from him just because I would hazard a guess that this was a mutual attraction. If there was some sort of sexual impropriety involved, we'll never know. And look, he went with I don't know if he went with a whole group of his family, but if you're in a private room with someone who's not, on your side, because you got that tantalization and that 18, 17, whoa, those hormones are intense. Right? So I'm sorry that his family lost sight of him long enough for this accusation to have any kind of credibility whatsoever, or for it to have even happened. If it did, then yes, he must pay for any transgressions he committed. But at the same time, it's just like, whoa. The teenagers were planning to continue their relationship when they were back in London. Okay, so let's see now. Dubai has only recently reformed its laws on sex outside of marriage for tourists, but upholds a strict Islamic legal system. It has no firm ruling on age of consent. Oh my goodness, there are things that Arab folks do to skirt the laws of Islam so that they can marry little girls for just one day. I'm just telling you, they're not our people, all right? I know that, excuse me, I'm a practicing Muslim, but I practice in terms of knowing that the Prophet Muhammad was a black man, okay? They just scrubbed it from the history books. And Arabs didn't invent Allah. Allah doesn't answer to them. And unfortunately for right now, because they're so gung-ho to be recognized as just as credible as other white people, they got a whole bunch of chaos going on in their regions that I hope everyone can resolve. As I say, I think everything can be resolved. Eventually, it will be by Allah. But when He is here to resolve stuff, whoa, okay, I'm just saying, bow down now, okay? Um, right? But okay, the teenagers were planning to. I want to see what nationality this young lady was. The couple who had met while staying at the same hotel with their families had a wonderful time together, and a girl, also a Brit, but we don't know what kind of Brit she was, okay? But it seems that in Dubai, even with tourists, they fall under the jurisdiction of their laws against certain types of relationships. And but under local law, a child is defined as a person under 18 years of age. The girl was just months away from turning 18 when the pair met in August. Hopefully, because for all I know, she could be a young black girl, right? The law seems pretty broad, and hopefully they'll be able to get him released somehow or another. I'm just here to just make a warning about assuming or thinking like a Negro peon. So many people who don't know what the heck is going on. You got races out there that we would look at as, aren't they all Asians? They can't stand each other. Oh my goodness. I watched a clip about a soccer match between Japan and China. Whoa! I mean, if guns were allowed at the stadium, there would have been thousands of unfortunately slaughtered folks. I'm just saying that's how deep the hatred is between China and Japan. And then there's, Korea's mad at the Japanese too, and really, really South Korea, really, really upset with China. North Korea, there's all this stuff going on with the Ukraine and Russia, and whoa, okay, I'm just saying, you gotta study this stuff. We can't just assume because we've managed to get just the merest fraction of freedom, which doesn't equal sovereignty, which is the only thing that is going to be possibly a rescue for us other than Allah, and use the name of the Creator you are divinely guided to embrace. But we can't take that all over the world and just assume everybody thinks the same. No, there's a lot of different ways of expressing each nation's unique history, and that's what makes us so different from white people. People like that, but we're all this, we're all, no, we're not. The divide and conquer happened when they abducted our ancestors. That was because we have almost no concrete understanding of our history, and I thank all of our historians out there working tirelessly to inform us, because there's so many lies that they've not only told, they keep on trying to retell, okay? All right, so yeah, that's all that I need to say. Go on over to 25000yearcycle.org. The products are outstanding. We create them because, just like you, we're sick of the evildoers. We're sick of the lies. We're sick of not embracing our mighty melanin and doing the best by it, because that compass to do the right thing is the rescue we seek. All right? All right. I love you. I wish you peace and blessings, and of course, straight black pride practice with sane wisdom, so we own forever.